We're going to do a brief video on Globalstar News, GSAT Stock News Today. Let's take a look at this daily chart we've got in front of us. This is a daily chart with three moving averages on there. They're kind of hard to see, but we have a green moving average buried in there for 5-day, a red 20-day moving average, and a blue 200-day moving average. Let's step back a little bit and take a longer term view of this stock. We can see that this is an extremely volatile stock. It's technically at times been a penny stock back and forth, and it's interesting because it trades nicely. For a penny stock, it trades beautifully. But let's take a look and see what's going on. We've got very high volume today in this stock, and it's making huge moves for its size. Everything's relative, but this stock, as you can see, had a very long period of time from January roughly 19 all the way to December 20, where it was essentially a sideways stock. We had some ups and downs, but essentially sideways stock. That's pretty common for a penny stock. That's not uncommon at all. What is uncommon is the movement that you see. You see really, I think, classical movement from a stock. It is, granted, more volatile, but the volatility looks exaggerated on the chart because the dollar amounts are so low. But if you look at this, it's beautifully respecting the 200-day moving average when it had a violation back here in September of 17. It came down, followed the 200-day moving average. Now, a lot of people will say, well, of course it followed it. It was sideways, and the average went sideways. But this is unusual for a 200-day moving average to look like this for a stock. We then finally had a huge breakout right here in January of 21, and a huge rally which pushed this stock up all the way to almost $3. You can see it was a parabolic move. It collapsed back down. That's all totally normal, but it respected the 200-day moving average as it did it. That's really interesting. Respected the 200-day moving average here in August of 21. Came up and made a lower high at about the $2.77 level. Came back down, bounced off the 200-day moving average, and then went into a bear market here right in November of 21. That was just a classic move and not typical for stock trading in this price range, in my opinion. So we went into a classic little bear market here, respected beautifully the 20-day moving average. Trading range was again small for a penny stock, but looks really nice in terms of a regular. If this was a $100 stock, the ranges would probably be where they should be, and it looks really good. I'm kind of surprised. I've never looked at this stock before. So we have here the price getting above the 20-day moving average and somewhat respecting it, with this exception here, challenging the 200 again, bouncing right back down on it. Same thing, challenging it, selling off, and finally we had a breakthrough right here at the end of July, the third week in July, and you can see that put us square back into bull market territory. Now it's kind of a really interesting thing. You didn't get a tremendous slope on a 200-day moving average, and that's probably because the price is so low. It's affecting the way these moving averages look, but it did get great respect on a 20-day moving average, and the 5-day wasn't bad either. It oscillated around it, but the 5-day is not all crooked. The 20 days beautiful. Now that brings us till today. We had a high in the stock yesterday of $2.25. Today, somebody took the stock out and beat it up pretty bad, and it's now showing a low of $1.62, and it's currently, this probably isn't refreshed, but it's currently around a $1.71.50, so it's in that range today. But the interesting thing about this stock is today, normal volume is 5 million shares a day, 5 to 6 million shares a day. It's 25 million shares today, and it's about 2 o'clock. So this stock's trading 5 times its daily volume today, which is amazing. And for a stock this low priced, it's trading nice. It's a very impressive stock in terms of the way it trades, and that's probably due to the high volume. So what do I think about this stock in terms of the future? It's extremely hard to say. We've essentially got a flat 200-day moving average, so that doesn't really help us. This stock's in a bull market now. It's above the 200-day moving average. It's probably, who knows if it's going to close below this 20-day moving average or not. But in general, if we look how it's moved historically, it tends to be a fairly volatile stock and oscillate back and around again with the 20-day moving average, and it tends to sell off every time it rallies. All this is just a description of the way the stock has historically been. So my guess is that's what we're seeing here. A sell-off will probably sell down to this $1.50 range. It's really hard to say on a stock like this. I would never guess if it was a straight up stock that's traded like penny stock, but this stock trades pretty good. I would say excellent actually for using technical analysis, in my opinion. But a $1.45, $1.46 target, again, as we're approaching this $1.30 level for the moving average of the 200-day. Not too much, not too much we can do with the 200-day moving average. So I'm thinking more like a $1.45-ish for a short-term bottom. Again, all this is my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. You got to do your own analysis, but that would be a reasonable target to the downside if we continue to go down. If we get the 5-day, green 5-day below the 20-day moving average, this stock could easily go down and break through the 200-day. You're not going to get, in my opinion, much support from a 200-day in this scenario because it's flat. So the trend is indeterminate, and in this short period of time, let's say by the end of the month, end of September, it's still going to be flat. So if we get approach to the 200-day moving average, it might go through it. The only thing that might stop it is it's already come down quite a bit. So you might get a bounce off the 200-day moving average, but my guess is you'll probably get some support before then at about the 145 level, maybe a rally up to back to 170, and then maybe a challenge to the 200-day. I would bet we're probably going to, if we don't go, if we don't challenge the 200, I'm going to bet that we'll stop at 140 to 145. But again, this is my opinion only, for entertainment purposes only. With a stock like this, you can never tell. It is known for parabolic rallies and absolute complete drop-offs, and then it kind of settles back to a normal stock. So it's very, very hard to take a look at this, and especially when you're talking about a low dollar stock like this. They're going to do what they're going to do. It doesn't take much money to move these one way or the other. So my best guess of this is about 145 on the downside, with a rally back up to 170, 180, maybe even more, assuming it gets support from the moving averages. If it doesn't, then it's going to probably go down and test the 200-day moving average and probably go through it a little bit before it turns around. So that's my, if it does turn around. So that's my best guess analysis for entertainment purposes only. I checked earlier, we do not follow Globalstar. I'll check and see about adding it. It's a beautifully trading stock. And let me show you what we do follow. We have 190 stocks here that we follow every day. These are algorithmically generated prices, 1, 5, and 20-day holding periods. These are trading days. They come out every morning before 7 a.m. and they're at rbamresearch.com, absolutely free, no credit card required. They give you these suggested entry prices to look at. You have to use your own analysis. You can't use these for anything other than entertainment. But as you can see on Apple stock today, 152, 153, 154, and then the way this works is if you bought today, you close out at the end of trading tomorrow or just before the end of trading at a loss, or take your profit as soon as you get it. And the same thing here and here. If you bought the 20-day column, buy in this range, assuming your analysis says it's a good idea, and then close out as soon as you get a profit, or worst case at the end of 20 trading days. So that's how these work. Keep in mind they are for entertainment purposes only. You have to do your own analysis. Again, you can get them absolutely free at rbamresearch.com. We have 190 stocks that we cover, long onlys. Longs or shorts every day are forex pairs, the major forex pairs, BTC crypto, and the most liquid futures contracts. Everything's up by 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. rbamresearch.com. There's a link in the description below, and absolutely no credit card required. You just go there, sign up, and get them. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you want to subscribe, please do that. If you have a great comment on how we can make these videos better, we'd love to hear it in the comment section below. Everything you've seen or heard here is for entertainment only. Please remember, you trade at your own risk, and you have to do your own analysis. You can't use our entry prices for anything other than entertainment, and everything, again, you've heard here is for opinion only.